Hey, how's it going YouTube? This is your boy Chosen and welcome back to another discussion video. So for the past two uploads, I've touched on a topic both regarding Boruto and Sarada, so I thought, you know what? I think it's time to give our boy Mitsuki, the best boy, some shine. As you guys know today, I want to dive deep into Mitsuki's Sage Mode and uncover everything we know about it, while also attempting to predict what the future of this transformation holds. Then at the end of the video, I'll be bringing up a long ago theory of a possible connection between Toneri and Mitsuki and debate on if this even has a chance of being true. So to start off, where did Mitsuki's Sage Mode come from? Well, obviously, as we know, Orochimaru being the parent of Mitsuki and someone who loves to perform experiments, Mitsuki's Sage Mode did not come from a specific place, where you need to undergo tough training. His Sage Mode was created by Orochimaru, and the reason I presume Orochimaru didn't place this on himself, probably because his body wouldn't be able to handle the power of this specific Sage Mode, and the fact that his pure intentions of Mitsuki is to set him to find out if Boruto is the son. I'm sure he decided to give Mitsuki some kind of overpowered ability to protect himself as a last stand, just in case if he ever needed to. All this stuff wasn't explained directly, but Mitsuki's Sage Mode obviously grants the user the ability to perform Sage techniques, and opens up the ability for the user to receive nature energy just like any other Sage user. But the difference between Mitsuki's Sage Mode compared to the others is that 1. The user possesses a type of energy surrounding them similar to Naruto's KCM appearance, to where his body is just completely soaked with chakra. And 2. It seems that the longer Mitsuki stays in his Sage Mode, the more damage it does to his body, as one time, where he was fighting Deepa, he nearly almost died from just using it.
そして狩りはもう終わった。お前は俺に恐怖していないのか。僕の親からは絶対にこの力は使うなって言われてたんだ。全力で使うとどうなるかわからない。でももうこれしかないみたいだ。先方
And had Log not donated the parts needed, Mitsuki's recovery would have taken forever. The thing most people overlook about his Sage Mode is the fact that it has such a limitation, which actually makes it all the more impressive. When a new overpowered ability or transformation gets introduced, typically it will almost always have a but factor to it. Guy was able to perform the 8th final gate that sparked enough power to heavily damage Sage of 6th Path Madara, but once the transformation is over with, the user will die. Naruto was first able to successfully perform Rasen Shuriken against Kakuzu, which was enough to completely destroy all of his remaining hearts, and finally take him out. But he had to suffer with damaging his arm because of it. I'm sure you guys get where I'm going with this. For as cool and strong Mitsuki's Sage Mode is, its limitation is generally what holds him back from ever going 100%. Even his fight against Deepa, which I mentioned before, wasn't him going all out. His objective with Sage Mode was not to fight Deepa, but instead retreat with Boruto and Sarada, as had he not practically sacrificed himself to do so, they'd all be dead. And just like how I compared Mitsuki's Sage Mode transformation to Naruto's KCM, another comparison is how he's able to summon Sage Chakra Snakes that he can use on the offense, like how Naruto and KCM2 can summon Kuruma arms. Obviously the two are completely different things, but just by appearance, they're actually more similar than we realized. Now for those who don't know, Mitsuki is a synthetic human, which is part of the reason as to why his body is specifically able to handle this fast power. If any other regular human tried to possess this Sage Mode, I doubt they'd last very long, as it'll start to break down cells and damage organs beyond repair. This in no way works to some other transformations, to where the more chakra you have, the longer you stay in a certain mode. It'll literally destroy you from the inside, so even if Naruto himself before 6th Path tried to use this transformation, his body would not be able to handle it. That's how powerful this mode is. Only Mitsuki and a few others, if you want to go into specifics, can handle the power of this Sage Mode, which speaks volume to his potential. For those who remember the early Boruto days, it became obvious that Mitsuki's sole purpose was to figure out if Boruto was the sun or star of hope, which could be somehow a connection to Toneri that I'll get into later. The reason as to why I'm extremely excited to see Mitsuki reach his full potential is because I know for a fact that his Sage Mode will most likely receive some kind of buff in a way, and I say that because of a few reasons. 1. Mitsuki again isn't a regular human being like Boruto and the rest of the cast. He's been experimented on multiple times, and his Sage Mode, unlike Naruto and the others, isn't something that can be learned, it was created. So amplifying it isn't out of the question and can be a thing if it wasn't for the fact that Mitsuki can barely handle its power as of now, which I think can potentially be overcome with the second reason, which is the fact that his body is able to be upgraded in a similar way to how Kara undergoes their upgrades. With the model Naruto officially becoming a citizen of Konoha, Mitsuki now has the option on the table to receive massive upgrades to his body that could eventually allow him to possibly overcome the limits of his Sage Mode, which will allow him to use it at full power without any setbacks like KCM or Six Path. And to be honest, it doesn't have to stop there. Amato is clearly the best scientist in the world. He's created a being that was able to hold their own against Six Path Naruto, and created a Dryer clone that was somehow able to avoid the teachings at Mount Byoboko and undergo a Sage transformation. Imagine what this man can do with someone like Mitsuki, who clearly possesses the strongest Sage Mode we've ever seen. And to be honest, I'm all for Mitsuki finding some way to overcome his Sage Mode and finally be able to use it whenever he wants. Obviously not right now, but sometime in the time skip, yeah, I definitely do think it needs to happen. Just like the example I gave with Naruto and his Rasen Shuriken, he overcame its setbacks with Sage Mode. So if Mitsuki's way of overcoming Sage Mode setbacks is even through Orochimaru, whichever it may be, I'm definitely all for it. We know time skip Boruto threats are going to get pretty crazy, as I doubt the biggest threat in the entire series was just Ishiki. It would suck to see Mitsuki fight overpowered villains by spamming striking Shadow Snake and Snake Lightning for like 90% of the fight, then use Sage Mode for like 15 to 30 seconds and then lose it like he always does. Just like Sarada, if Mitsuki's gonna keep up with the main cast, he's gonna need some pretty overpowered abilities, and if that's going to happen, I think the best place to start is Kishimoto having Mitsuki overcome the limits of Sage Mode, so he can just pop it when he feels like it's needed. And last thing for today's topic is the connection between Toneri and Mitsuki, and honestly, back then it sounded like a ridiculous theory, but if I'm gonna be honest, yes, I do think there is some kind of connection. Not exactly between Mitsuki and Toneri to be exact, but Toneri and Orochimaru. Let's think about it. Mitsuki's first unlocking Sage Mode was a complete setup by Orochimaru. He wanted Mitsuki to get the scroll and develop some kind of relationship with Boruto to see if he was the son. I'm getting the strong vibes that Orochimaru somehow knows of the path Toneri set on Boruto and is curious to find out what it's truly about. So obviously he knows he can't be the one to go and check on it himself, so why not create a young boy who befriends Boruto so he can learn about it through him? And giving him Sage Mode will basically give Mitsuki the boost he may need if he's in danger, so that Orochimaru can continue his research. Remember the episode to where Orochimaru was looking through Mitsuki's memories? It may be hidden, but all of that could be Orochimaru's true intentions. Of course it's just a theory, but I strongly feel like not only Orochimaru, but the three legendary Sannin still play a part in Boruto's plot to date. Jiraiya with Kashin Koji, Tsunade with the Hanchi healing mark resembling Boruto's Karma Seal, and Orochimaru trying to understand Toneri's reasoning for bestowing great power on Boruto, and helping the young cast possibly understand how vessels work, and if there's a way that Boruto can eventually come to control Momoshiki inside of him. That idea is going to be for another video though, but be sure to let me know what you guys think about Mitsuki's Sage Mode in the comments down below. This has been your boy Chosen, and I'll catch you on the next one.